guys, we just had to show you Con. Hey, buddy. Because he's about as adorable as they come. What do you want from me? I got nothing for you. So he's brand new to our puppy boot camp. He's never, he doesn't even know the leash, right? So the leash is on and he's not quite clear what that even means. And so what we're doing, what was your game plan, Sarah?
So start building engagement, start teaching vocabulary. So we want to understand sit, down, come, place. And then we're going to start adding some leash pressure into that gradually. So that way it's not anything like that.
Yeah, so you can tell that so there was nothing happening with the leash other than
It got wrapped around my
it
foot.
got wrapped around, and so he freaked out. And so I always tell people, puppies aren't born knowing what a leash is. You know, everyone sees dogs walk on leashes and they think, oh, dogs walk on leashes. But they're not born knowing what that means. And so what's happening here is he's just throwing a little tantrum, you know, when he feels a little bit of the leash. So what we're doing a lot of is just having a leash on, and so that's just the tantrum right there. That is. So we're having a leash on, and we're not even like using it, other than, you know, we might just hold it. And then what we're doing is while the leash is on, you know, doing some obedience, using food, using fun, things like that, so that he starts to, so the leash starts to kind of melt into the background for him. Because like I say, right now, like if he even feels a little bit, he's like, oh my gosh, I have to fight this, I have to, and so we don't want to like fight the little dude. All we want to do is just like help him realize that it's okay. He makes like a gremlin sound.
I know. It's hard, huh?
So when Sarah says that she's going to work on teaching him the vocabulary, what that means is, you know, we want dogs to understand certain words, right? Sit, down, stuff like that. And dogs are physical creatures, so we have to pair something physical with that. And so right now we're using mostly food, and so, you know, we'll just simply offer him the food. You know, when he sits, you know, we say sit. You know, when he comes, we say come, whatever it is, and then the food happens. And so at first, those words are just going in one ear, out the other. But with enough repetition and the food being paired with it, it starts to actually have meaning. And then, like I say, so what'll happen is Sarah's mentioned, you know, after 3 or 4 sessions of this, right now we're not using a leash.
Good.
Quote unquote use it is just to hold it. But we're not using it to guide, we're not using it to correct, we're not using it to pull the dog towards us or to pull the dog towards the bed. All we're doing is having him wear it. But here in a few sessions, once he's more accustomed to wearing it, then what we'll do is we'll start adding like what's, you know, small leash pressure.
Okay.
And leash pressure might mean I pull on it just a little bit, and then he comes and he gets food. And so he starts to learn how to work through pressure. Now this is an important thing to understand, because working through pressure is something that a lot of dogs never learn. And when I say pressure, I don't mean it as like a 4-letter bad thing, you know, but life has pressure, right? You know, there's other dogs, and there's kids, and there's cars, and there's shopping carts, and there's loud sounds, and there's fireworks, and, you know, life is full of pressure, and so we want to teach the dog from a young age how to deal with it. Now again, the way that we teach him is, you know, we introduce it incrementally and say, okay, now that you've just been wearing a leash, I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on that. Oh, by the way, look what happened. You know, it's a good thing. There's food, and there's engagement and things like that. And so like I say, with an older dog that might understand a little bit of the leash, we might use that leash and kind of guide the dog onto his bed as we come in place. With this dog, we're just simply luring him. He's so tiny. How old is he?
He's just about to be 4 months.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
A little bit older than I thought. Okay.
Huh? You're gonna be tiny. Tiny.
He's so cute.
Good boy. He gets used to that weight of the leash too as he walks around with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be big for him because, you know, just the weight of the leash is going to start teaching him things and teach him about pressure. Now, not much. It's just, you know, a couple ounces of the leash, but it's enough to start introducing the concept of pressure. So like I say, we don't want to shield our dogs from pressure. We want to give them pressure that they can handle, but we don't want to shield them. And that's one of the fundamental flaws in a lot of training today. You know, trainers who only use treats and never use pressure, it doesn't set the dog up for understanding how to exist in the world very well. Because when pressure inevitably comes, the dog has no foundation of knowing how to deal with it. You see dogs crumple, and you see aggression, you see things like that. And so it's the same concept like with kids. You know, we want to give kids challenging things when they're young. Because it helps, you know, and challenging things might be learning to read, it might be doing chores, it might be, getting them out there and, having them play a sport or something like that. We want them to do challenging things when they're young because that provides pressure that they learn to deal with when they're older.
Yay! You did it! Good boy! You figured it out!
And Sarah's very good with puppies, so like I say, she'll be doing a lot of the training with this guy. It'll be a lot of fun, and we'll slightly layer pressure in as we go. There'll be quick sessions just like this. You know, we're about to finish up. There'll be quick sessions.
And then ending on a good note, short and sweet.
Yeah.
Good boy. Hey guys, we're here with Con and give you a little progress report on him. So the last time we showed you footage of him, he was screaming with the leash. I mean, I wasn't even doing anything. He would just run and hit the end of it and just have like a little meltdown over it. And so now we're to the point where he's conditioned to the leash and we're using it as a training tool now with him. So we're integrating a little bit of pressure now that he's understanding the vocab. So he understands like that the pressure gets turned off by coming, good boy, and by moving away from me. So we'll work a little bit on place. Con, place.
Yeah, so he's essentially working with the leash pressure because before, like I say in the video that we showed before, like he would feel like a feather's weight on that leash and he would be like, and he would just lose his mind. And so this is such an important concept to understand because like I say, in the dog training world, there's balance trainers, which is kind of what we do. And then there's trainers that just use praise and positive reinforcement and food. And positive reinforcement and food are a huge part of it, but if that's all you're doing, we're not teaching the dog how to work through pressure. And so you can see here in the space of a week, this guy is happily we took pressure and we taught him how to work, we're teaching him how to work through it. And in the process, he's becoming a much stronger dog. He's not getting sad, it's not ruining his personality, it's not harming the relationship we have. If anything, it's helping the relationship because we've helped him work through a problem, and now he trusts me.
Good job.
Yeah, because like I said, just a week ago when we were filming that little dude, he sounded like a gremlin.
He did not like it.
It's important. Dogs need to know how to work through pressure. People need to know how to work through pressure.
Good. Okay. Good job. And at this point, all of his stay commands, we're not asking him to stay for very long because he's still really young, but over time, he's going to learn that if he does break, he gets a correction and he gets to learn to stay no matter how far away we are with what's going on, if someone comes through the doorway, if a dog walks by, and for longer periods of time. So that's part of developing this little puppy.
So cute.
Okay. Good job.
How long can we get him to stay on the place right now?
A couple minutes, please.
A minute or two?
Yeah, good boy. Good. So, place. So there's a little correction right here. Place. Good. Come on, place. Good. Good. Okay. Good boy. Good.
Yeah, so like I say, finding that balance is important. Without that balance, if we had just spent a week just using treats, there's no way he'd be this far along. His progress would have been slowed down. And so that's what, like I say, when we saw him like making all that noise last time, well, it was kind of funny because we knew, it was just the weight of the leash that was making him do it. But at the same time, we don't want to see the dog like having a hard time. But it's helping him work through that. And so having seen thousands of dogs now, start with a problem on not knowing how to work with pressure, and then move beyond that, it's so liberating for these guys to learn how to use pressure in their life and how to work through it. It's faster, it's more complete, it's easier on the dog long term because we create a stronger dog.
Good. Good. Okay.
Yep, fun little guy to train.